Hello and welcome to the Be a Better Boss podcast. I am your host, Ian Highfield, and this podcast is dedicated to one ambitious goal: transforming the world through transforming the workplace. Each week, we explore strategies that can help leaders like you create happier, healthier, and higher performing work environments. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something controversial: the death of SMART goals. That's right, it's time to let go of the outdated, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound framework that has dominated performance management for decades, and instead we'll explore how to shift the focus from what people do to how and why they do it. Along the way, I'll share the incredible story of Inky Johnson, a former college football player whose journey highlights the power of connecting with your why, and I'll offer practical strategies for teaching your employees to do the very same. If you listened to the last episode about the motivational pie chart, this will feel like a natural continuation of that conversation. It's all about moving from surface level goals to meaningful, sustainable, human-driven growth. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Why are SMART goals so problematic? Well, on the surface, they seem logical. Who doesn't want goals that are clear, measurable, and time-bound? The problem lies in their emphasis on the what. They focus mainly on outcomes, sales targets, projections, customer retention rates. And here's the catch: outcomes are often things that employees cannot fully control. When we tie our successes or our employees' successes solely to these external results, we create unnecessary stress and anxiety. The focus on outcomes can lead to burnout and, paradoxically, lower performance. Research in sports psychology, including insights from Foundations of Sport and Exercise Psychology by Weinberg and Gold, highlights that focusing on controllable factors, termed the process, and why you are doing something, motivation, leads to better outcomes. So why don't we apply this principle in the workplace? Athletes are training their minds to focus on processes and motivators, and the corporate world is training their employees to do the very opposite: focus on outcome. To illustrate the power of focusing on how and why, let me share the story of Inky Johnson. Inky was a standout college football player destined for the NFL, but during a game in 2006, a routine tackle left him with a life-altering injury that permanently paralyzed his right arm. His lifelong goal, his outcome, what he wanted to achieve, becoming an NFL star, was gone in an instant. But here's where Inky's story is remarkable. Inky did not fall apart. Instead, he leaned into his how, the processes, and the why, his motivations. His how: relentless work ethic, commitment to giving his best, never, ever, ever cutting corners, studying and researching. His why: to inspire and impact on others, a purpose that transcended football, and to break a generational cycle that had been prevalent in his family for years. Inky now travels the world as a motivational speaker, sharing his story to help others find resilience and meaning in their own life. His journey shows that when we are deeply connected to why we do something and committed to how, the daily behaviors we can control, even the most devastating setbacks can be opportunities for growth. So how can we apply this in the workplace? Currently, many employees are driven by SMART goals or outcomes: hitting revenue targets, meeting deadlines, achieving quotas. While these goals can provide direction, they often create stress, especially because employees will feel they lack control over the outcome. As leaders, it's our job to help teams connect with their why and their how. Here's why this shift matters. It will reduce stress. Focusing on controllable actions, the how, your daily processes, reduces anxiety that comes from chasing external results. Intrinsic motivation. Connecting with your why will give you a deeper purpose, and it fosters engagement and fulfillment. And ironically, better performance will stem from this. If the employee focuses less on what they want to achieve or their specific, SMART, measurable goals, often better results will follow because they're less stressed and more motivated. Let's talk about how to bring this into the workplace. Let's redefine goals. Let's replace SMART goals or outcome-based goals with process-focused ones. For example, instead of increase sales by 20% this quarter, set a goal to make 15 prospect calls a day or follow up with 5 existing clients each week. Instead of launch the product by the end of quarter 3, a SMART goal, set goals like host weekly check-ins to ensure project milestones are on track, to ensure employee engagement is high, and to ensure the company is supporting the employees with everything they possibly can to achieve this outcome. These process goals keep employees focused on actions they can control, develop good daily behaviors, reduce stress, and ultimately increase performance. We also have to help employees connect with their why. Take time to explore what drives your team members, what excites them about their work, what impact do they want to have. In your one-on-one meetings, ask open-ended questions like, what about this role feels most meaningful to you? When was the last time you felt proud of your work and why? Not, hey, how close are we to target for this quarter? Encourage them to articulate their personal mission rather than their progress towards a target, much like we discussed in the last episode about the motivational pie chart. Attach boundaries to goals. One mistake leaders often make is setting process goals without considering their sustainability. Make sure the goals that you have your employees set include boundaries so they can have work-life balance and feel like a valued human. For example, if a goal is for 10 prospect emails a day, encourage them to cap their work hours so they don't become over-exacerbated. This creates a healthier, more productive human. Celebrate process, not just outcomes. When recognizing achievements, highlight the behaviors and actions that lead to these achievements, not just the final result. You can even celebrate outcomes that were missed, but processes that were excellent in striving towards that outcome. Congratulate employees for their behaviors, not their results. This reinforces the importance of how and keeps employees motivated. Now, the death of SMART goals doesn't mean abandoning structure or ambition. What it means is shifting our focus from SMART goals to, hey, what do you want to achieve? Okay, that's great. Now let's disconnect with that, and every day let's focus on how and why. Let's focus on the daily processes and the motivators that are going to drive you to get there. Inky Johnson's story reminds us that resilience and fulfillment comes from within, a commitment to our process and a connection to our purpose. As leaders, we have the privilege of helping our team members have the same experience. By redefining goals, supporting intrinsic motivation, and celebrating the process, we can create workplaces where people don't just work, they thrive. Over the last decade and a half, there isn't one athlete that I have not helped move away from SMART goals, disconnect with their outcome, and value process and motivation more every single day. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Be a Better Boss. If you found today's discussion valuable, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with other like-minded leaders. For more resources, visit ianhighfield.com and keep an eye out for my new book, The Administrative Athletes, Lessons from the Locker Room to the Boardroom. Let's transform workplaces into environments where people are inspired to grow, contribute, and thrive. Let's transform the world through transforming the workplace. Until next time, I'm Ian Highfield. Be a better boss.
Perfect.
That was a good one.
That was good.